All right, everybody, in this video, I'm gonna go over with you and explain how to get into this Toronto, Ontario crazy 2022 market. Also, at the end of this video, I'm gonna go over all expenses and down payments needed in order to get into the market as a first-time homebuyer. I'll explain it step by step, exactly every penny that you need to get in. I work in the Toronto area, and as we all know and as we have all heard in the news, it is getting more and more difficult to enter this crazy Toronto market. Before I get into any specific details, there's one major thing that I want to explain to all first-time homebuyers. I myself and my team, we do work with a lot of first-time homebuyers, so I see this time and time again. Listen to me and repeat after this. Your first home is not your forever home. And I'll follow that up by going over a very favorite quote of mine that you will never outsave the Toronto market. Please say that again with me. You will never outsave the Toronto real estate market. So every year that you try and save that extra 5-10%, the market is gonna outgrow that and just keep putting you further and further behind. I can promise you that. As a first-time home buyer, all you need to put down is 5% of the first $500,000 and 10% of that remaining balance. For this actual video here, we are gonna use a $600,000 home because that is very doable, and if you don't believe me, I will show you. Of course, by putting 20% down, you avoid the CMHC payments and your mortgage will be a little bit lower, but if you have to suck it up and get into the market and build your equity while you can, do it. So before I get into the numbers specifically, I wanna go over first-time homebuyer incentives. I get asked this question all the time, so let me cover these real quick. So the Government of Canada does have a first-time homebuyers program incentive. However, I personally don't love this program as I feel it's the government just trying to get a little piece of your equity, and it doesn't really work for a lot of the Toronto prices. So I'm just gonna cover this very quickly, but I will put a link below so you can read the full article on what exactly this first-time buyer incentive covers. Essentially, if you're looking to buy new construction, the government will give you approximately 10%. If it's resale, approximately 5%. But remember, they share equity with you, so when you sell in the future, of course, you owe that money back. There are also some in-depth calculations you have to consider in terms of your household income and how much they will actually give you. Again, I will put a link below that goes over everything for you. It just seems overall that this program doesn't really suit the city of Toronto, but it's more so for the houses in the suburbs that are a little bit cheaper. So next, first-time homebuyer incentive is we have the land transfer tax rebate. Here in the city of Toronto, we pay double land transfer tax, provincial and municipal. Everywhere else in the province, you only pay one land transfer tax. The absolute maximum rebate you get back is $8,475. And even though the name is a rebate, it's not actually like a check you get mailed after, it's just taken off at the end of the transaction. I'm also gonna include a land transfer tax calculator link below so you can see exactly how much land transfer tax you would owe if you're a first-time buyer, not a first-time home buyer, or looking inside or outside the city of Toronto. All right, so now let's get down to payments and exactly what's going to be owed at closing and after your offer. A question that I get asked all the time is what's the difference between a deposit and your actual down payment? So the deposit is typically 5% of the purchase price, and that's due either with your offer or right after acceptance within 24 hours. This 5% is held in the brokerage's trust account or the lawyer's trust account and actually used at the end towards your down payment. So the difference between deposit and down payment, it's essentially the same thing, but your deposit is due right away and typically 5% of your purchase price. All right, so now we're gonna dive into the exact expenses needed to purchase a $600,000 property here in Toronto. Again, it's not going to be a home, it's not gonna be a townhouse, it's likely going to be a condo, but like I said at the beginning of the video, you need to get into this market and build your equity. And if you think there are no nice $600,000 condos out there, you are wrong, and I will absolutely love to take you out and show you some beautiful $600,000 condos. So you're in the offer process, you offer $600,000 and you get accepted. So we need to now give 5% of the purchase price of that $600,000 condo, which equals to $25,000. Okay, so your $25,000 is now with the brokerage's trust account. That deposit will go to your down payment at closing. So we are at $25,000. Next, we have the 10% of the remaining balance. So because it's 5% of the first $500,000, which is $25,000, we now have $100,000 left remaining. So we owe 10% of that $100,000, which is equal to $10,000. So there are two main extra fees that you need to keep in mind. One is lawyer fees. The second is land transfer tax, which we just briefly talked about. Lawyer fees are approximately $1,500 to $2,500, depending on which lawyer you use, depending on where you buy, and depending on that lawyer's experience. So for this example, let's go right down the middle and use $2,000. So we're at $35,000 for our down payment. We have $2,000 lawyer fees, and now we're looking at our land transfer tax. So in this situation, let's assume that you are a first-time homebuyer in the city of Toronto, so we do get that first-time homebuyer rebate on your land transfer tax. If you weren't a first-time homebuyer and you were looking to purchase this property, your land transfer tax would be approximately $17,000. But because you are a first-time homebuyer, you are given that first-time homebuyer rebate. We talked earlier as well about the maximum rebate allowed, which is $8,475. So you're going to be given that as a first-time homebuyer, which equals your absolute total for land transfer tax as a first-time homebuyer is $8,475. Okay, so now let's recap all down payment and expenses needed. So for the first $500,000, again, we need that 5%, which is $25,000. Then we have the $100,000 remaining, which we owe 10%, that's $10,000, which leaves us for the down payment of $35,000. We have our lawyer fees of $2,000, and we have our land transfer tax with the rebate in mind at $8,475. Beep, boop, beep, 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 boop, boop. That is leaving us with a grand total of $45,475 for your total down payment and expenses needed. Some people may mention that you need a home inspection or a movers or all other little minor fees, which again, we can discuss later on, but these are the main down payment and fees needed to purchase a home. And I think and hope it's a lot less than you expected. A lot of people that I talk to on a daily basis think that they need 20% down. However, this is not the case. Again, you will never outsave the Toronto market, and you need to get in while you can. So to wrap this up, if you guys feel like I've missed anything or want to add anything in the comments below, please let me know. I would love to hear your opinions and your thoughts. And if you're looking at any properties in the downtown core and would like some help, please don't hesitate to reach out, send me an email, message me on Instagram, or put a comment below, and I will reach out to you directly. I hope this helped you understand how to get into this crazy 2022 Toronto, Ontario market. Again, if you guys are excited and like the videos that I'm putting out, please leave a comment below and subscribe.